Alright, Miss Scott here again with New Life Garage. Last weekend we were doing the bellows. We didn't complete it last weekend. We probably could have, but I was tired. A little bit tired this week. I had a long week. So I did do one thing that I didn't do on camera just because it's time consuming. I got the bell right here. And this bellows for the cable, which you'd think would be the easiest one to get in, is not. It's the hardest one. Because the tip of this is barely, you can barely get the cable through the tip of it. But the tip of the cable has a brass fitting on it, which is quite a bit bigger than the cable. So when these things are new, they're really tough to get over that. So I had to put some WD-40 on it, then I had to stretch it. I had some, they weren't needle. I used some snap ring pliers. Stretch it, heat it up. I put it on backwards, because I could get it on backwards, but trying to feed it in the correct way was not easy. So anyway, after a lot of, working with it, I got it on there, and there was no point in videoing that. It's a pretty simple process, just time consuming. So now what we got to do is I got to feed this cable in through the back of the boat here, and the problem with that is my boat's really tall. The motor is below the floor, or the deck, if you will. So this cable, when it goes in, it's not an open area. It's right into where the engine is. So you got to go in a certain way, and then you got to go up, and unbelievably, you got to go over to the other side of the motor, because all the hookups for your cables and everything are on that side of the motor. All the cables for the boat are on this side, for steering, for throttle, for shifting, everything, but everything hooks up on that side. It's quite mind-blowing. But regardless, I have got to feed this in, and then I got to go up the ladder, go inside, see where it's going, and then I got to move it a couple inches at a time. Once I get it in there a little ways, then it's not too bad. I can kind of pull it in. But because of where it lands when it goes in, you have to be careful, because there's all kinds of wires and cables and all kinds of things, exhaust, and also the prop shaft will be in there, and it actually is exposed inside the boat. So you can't run this through there. So you gotta go up and over that and around. So I'm not gonna video that whole deal. And then actually this is the second time I started this video, because the first time I tried to push pause and I actually pushed stop. So last time I tried to push pause, I didn't even push pause. So we'll try to do better this time. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get this going. Once we get the cable in, we got to get this hose clamp on here. And I'm glad we're talking about that, because I need to slip that on right now before I forget it. We'll slip that hose clamp on. Otherwise, I'd had to undo it all the way and put it on there. And that would have been not as much fun. And then, if I remember right, this one will go. I'm going to look in here real quick. Also, I got my little headlamp with me today. Yeah, there's just no great way of doing this, so it's unbelievable. So it's going to go like this. That's going to be the best way. So I'm going to slip that on there real quick before I forget. If it wouldn't have been for y'all, I would have forgot. Obviously, because I didn't have it on there and I was fixing to put it together. So, thanks for stopping by. So let me loosen this up. That's not even big enough. Let's get this over. Is this one big enough? Wow. Well, I don't even know if that's big enough. I don't want it to be too terribly big in there, but I don't want it to be too short either. You don't want no extra in there rubbing holes in no. We're trying to fix problems. We're not trying to create problems. So yeah, I think that'd work. have to glue this one on as well. I'm gonna just snug this up a teeny tiny bit. But this one's not easy to get to either. And the closer I can get it, the better off we're all gonna be. All right, that's not bad. Okay. I'm gonna start this process and then I'm gonna pause it. These are our tilt sensors for our transom. That way we can tell inside the boat how high the outdrive is. That's what those are for. We gotta be careful with those. Oops, be careful with that too. You gotta be careful with those. Then we don't want to cut them in two because those also go through the hole of the boat. This part's not complicated, it's just time consuming. Once I get this partially through here. Alright. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna go up inside and see if I can't start pulling this thing in. Okay, guys. Unbelievably, that cable went right in. I've struggled with that thing before, but I just got lucky. I mean, it didn't even take a minute. Put it in there, was able to pull it right in and route it right to the side that I needed. So I did all that whining about how difficult it was for nothing. So it just goes to show you, you don't never underestimate how easy or how hard something can be in a blink of an eye. So I got the cable slid in, I got it routed to that side of the boat for now. Well, once I push this all the way in, I can loop it over. I got to put a little bit of this bellows glue on that shift cable bellows. So I'm gonna pull it back out a little bit, and then I'm gonna glue that, and then we'll slide it back in. I got a couple little friction washers that goes in here, and then we can slide this on. I'll show you the bolts that go in this. They're the Torx bolt, and I say it's a Torx. It's really not even a Torx. It's a I don't know. It looks like a gear almost. It's got threads on one end, of course, but it looks like a gear on the other end, the inside of a gear. It's not really shaped like a Torx. There's more points than a Torx is, I think. But regardless, I've got a special tool for that. I'll show that to you. I'm gonna pull this out, put that on there, slip it back in, and then we'll hook this upper bellows and this exhaust bellows. We'll hook those in, and we'll hook the water up on this thing, and hopefully we'll be going in the right direction. Gooey. Won't take much. know y'all can't see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this bellows up over this lip. Getting close. It's actually over it. I just want to get it on there as far as I can. Alright, so that shift cable bellows is over that collar. It's got that glue on it. I'll let that sit there just for a little bit and turn this light off. So I had to bring this, the reason why I had to get the headlamp out is that I got a lot of magnetic lights, but on the back of the boat there's nothing that's metal. It's all aluminum or cast or fiberglass. So there's nothing to stick it to. And so I really struggle with light out here unless I got one of those headlamps on. So I stopped by and bought a new one today because I couldn't find none of my old ones. And anyway, I'm gonna pause this video. I hope you guys are getting your boats ready if you got one, because I'm telling you, summer is almost here. And we are. Today I got up and I cook breakfast every morning, and we've got just rain after rain after rain. My backyard's flooded. I mean, I almost have to put my dog's life jacket on just for him to go outside. I mean, it's that bad. But this morning, for the first time in a long time, I got up and the weather was really, really nice outside. And I got a sliding glass door there, and I got a Blackstone sitting right outside. It's what I cook on all the time. And it was nice because this morning when I opened the door and got ready to cook my breakfast, I could already hear, kids out playing, which, because it was nice and warm instead of freezing cold and raining. I could hear kids all over the neighborhood playing, and the birds, all the birds and stuff. I mean, it really felt like the first day of summer. So it was kind of nice to hear that this morning, as opposed to waking up and it's pouring down rain, because we've gotten a lot of rain over the past few weeks. A lot of rain, a lot of cold, and everybody's ready to get winter behind us, and we're ready to get to summer, and then summer's going to be short. So if you got a boat or you think about getting one, now's the time to get it ready. I mean, you don't want to be halfway through the summer and still, finding things wrong with your boat. I put this off longer than I should, but we had a pretty cold winter. Didn't have a lot of mild, and the shop's not heated. I've got heat out here. I just been lazy. I was lazy this winter. Let's just be honest. I worked on the boat a lot last summer. I got through the summer, and I wasn't motivated to get back out and work on it. I'm barely motivated now, but I am ready to get it done and get at least this part behind me, because this is the only thing that I really absolutely have to do. I'm gonna have to do probably a couple batteries this year. One of my batteries on my battery oscillator charger has been showing red every once in a while, and it shouldn't. It's been on the charger all winter, so I'm probably going to replace 2 of the batteries. Anyway, I'm going to pause the video again. I got a couple things to do. I need to tie this up so it won't fall. I got to straighten the steering back up, and then I got to get these little friction washers and clean those up, put those in there, get some of that stuff done, and then we're going to stab this thing on here and put a couple screws in it, and we'll have this, if the bellows goes well, which I think they will, we'll have this thing on today. Let me pause the video and I'll be right back. Alright, everybody. So we're getting close. Putting these bolts in. These are my 2 friction washers that's got to go in there. This is, I'm gonna call it a boat. But if you can see that, that's what the boat looks like. It's different than a normal boat. It's got this smooth collar on it for everything to pivot on. And then it's got this gear drive where you can put a socket on it or whatever you want to put on there that fits inside it. This one's a brand new one, so I'm not going to poke it in there. I've got another one that's already greased up. So I'm going to use it today to put this together. These are kind of a pain to get lined up. You know, I'll probably have to turn the steering wheel a couple times to get this in there. And plus I got to slide these friction washers in here and try to get it all lined up while you put it together. So we'll see. We're going to try to slide this in here real quick. This side over here probably first. Try to put a screwdriver in here to kind of hold this up until I get it going, but you gotta be careful. You can't put nothing in there too far because you'll mess around and tear a hole in one of your bellows. And you'll be starting over. So this is just a real, you definitely do not want to cross thread this. And you'll be needing some help if you do that. So make sure you start it by hand. You just got to be patient. There's no, it won't go, and then it'll be in there. Just how it is. I'm a little low. Come up a little bit back. There we go. This side's on my hand that I got all the damage to, so it's a lot harder for me to do anyway. So might as well start with that one. I think I got it going though. It's not going. Not yet. It's close. I take these little trim sensors and just loop them right through there. That way they're not dangling down in the way. One of those things that you think just be a piece of cake. Just never is. Come on, man. I may have that started. I've got that started, but I'm going to go in here and turn this steering wheel a little bit so I can get my little drive in there, little driver in there. So I think you get the idea. I got to do one on each side with the friction. Once I get that done, I can hook up the upper, I can hook up the prop bellows, the exhaust bellows, and then the water hose or the coolant hose, whatever you're gonna call it. Water, it's not really coolant, it's water from the lake. So let me, I'm gonna pause the video, of course, and I will get it to that point. And then before I hook these bellows up, I wanna try to get the camera over here and kind of show you what it looks like inside, and then show you the tools that we're gonna use. The only one you need a tool for is the top one. You can't really get a tool in here, I don't guess. I mean, I've got one that might fit in there, but it's on the bottom. It's a little easier to deal with. But I got a real skinny one up here that'll probably go. So that's your shifting shaft right there. Shift cable, and you got a shifting arm. You got your shaft down here, and that's what goes and controls your forward and reverse. So I'm gonna pause this video and I'm gonna turn that wheel just a bit, just to make sure I don't cross-thread this. All right, everybody, I got the bell on there, which is just those two side pins right there and there. Those are both in, and now it can pivot up and down and do what it wants to do. Now I got to connect these bellows up, so I'm going to try to show you the inside of this, what this looks like currently. There. So this is where the prop shaft goes up into that bearing that we seen earlier. And right there, you can see this lip right here, that lip that I'm shining my light on. That rubber bellows has to come inside of this part, comes inside to here, over that lip, and then you put that collar on there. And this collar will go up inside there, all the way up, and then it'll pinch that rubber part onto that lip. You have to just kind of tap it in there with a hammer. Then we've also got, if I can get you down here low enough to see inside here, this is where the exhaust, I got this on my tripod, so I'm going to have to tilt it sideways or something here. Don't know that we're going to be able to see inside of there. Let's just try this. You can see inside there, but not great. But that's the exhaust bellows down there that I'll have to get that done. Now what I'll do is when I'm doing that exhaust bellows, I will raise that bell up, like I'll tilt it up at a 45-degree angle or whatever, and then I will get that in there. But the next step is to get this the prop shaft bellows done. So I'm gonna grab my tool. See if we can just leave this going. Man, let me get it set back up over here, or maybe y'all can see a little bit. Maybe. Now, see in there? If we zoom it in, can you see? All right. All right. So this is the tool that we have. We got two of them actually. I got this one and one more around here. Here's the other one. They're both basically the same. But you gotta reach in here and grab this bellows here and then pinch it. This thing's supposed to automatically be the right size. Pull that up on there. It's supposed to be, it is, it's 2 different things. It's actually not doing too bad. You still want to tear this stupid thing, man. We're not trying to start over. Let's try this other one. Which one you got the bigger? They're almost about the same. This one's slipping off though. This one has a different kind of style keeper on it, so let's try this one. Yeah, I think they could have done better on that. Let's try a little differently. Like this. Wow. Yep. They definitely could have done this better. I think I'm seeing why a lot of people make their own. I'm just trying to tear it up, just trying to get the stupid thing on there. These things are stiff. I mean, when you first get them, they're stiff, but this thing, you pull it right up on there, this should not be good. Really shouldn't be this big of a problem. Come on now. I might just reach in and get it with my hands better than this. I don't know. Last thing I want to do is tear this thing, because that's the whole reason why we're doing this. This one right here was tore. This is the hardest one to get on. The rest of them aren't bad. Embarrassing. This is an embarrassing tool. Unbelievable that they've almost made something that works. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, it's clearly not the right size. Sure, I'm not hung up on the top there, but it shouldn't be. Wow. Embarrassing. watching this video and you made this tool, if it's for that bellows, you should be embarrassed, because that's terrible. And I don't think there's any way that you're going to get this in here. You don't really need to, because you can lean this up and crawl underneath it and get that one on. I mean, this has got to be made for that, but it's embarrassing that this just came with the kit. I didn't special order this, it came with the kit. The other one I did order because it came with a bearing or something, can't remember. I didn't order it specifically, it came with something else that I ordered. But, and I can bend this, I can put this in something and bend it, and it'll be fine. It's just crazy that you're gonna go through the trouble of making something and it almost works. It just, to me, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't even know what this is all about right here. Maybe I'm just too dumb to operate it, but that's as far as it closes. And when you close it all the way, that's as far as it opens, and it's not enough. So I could be that dumb, but maybe it's easier to reach in here and do it with my hands. But you know, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, people doing this, and I really thought this was going to be a problem because of how you had to pull from the inside. Now I did it by hand the last time, but we weren't talking about them. It wasn't like this, and it was a pain. But with this open like this, you can just reach in there and do that. I don't understand why you would. I don't understand why you would do it with that tool. But anyway, it's on there. I got to get that collar on there. Make sure that's right. And hopefully that won't be a problem. Let me put it on. See how this fits, make sure it fits properly, and if it does, I'll put a little WD-40 on it or something. We'll tap it in there. I didn't glue this side because I didn't want it popping out when I knock this in. So I've got a tool up here to knock this thing in. It's called a hammer. Now I've got this little plate right here. It goes on the shaft, and you knock it in with that. I'll grab a hammer. Put some hammer time. WD-40 down here. Here we go. Y'all wish me luck on this one because I think I'm gonna need it. I just did. Try to just kind of wiggle this in here. This. See if I can get it. It's sitting in there like it's supposed to be. I don't want to knock that thing out. I don't want to tear up that rubber either. Should go right in there. This makes me nervous hammering on something and you can't see it. I can't tell that that's actually. I'm shining light in here, and if this thing looks like it's clearing that rubber, we're fixing to put the kiss of death on it. That's what we're gonna do. Wow, they could have made this a little bit better. It's trying to, almost like it's just a little bit out of shape, or like it's not tapered enough. I don't know. This is not, I don't agree. I don't like this design. I don't like how they did this, but I've seen people tear these up trying to get them on, but I've got it lined up. We're just gonna have to whack it and hope it pops on there. That's all I know to do. I'm trying to tear this up. I'm not trying to have to take it back apart, but I feel like it's going on at all. Of course not. This is dumb. Got the old one around here somewhere. They look identical though. I think it's a dumb design. Don't understand. Wow. I'm gonna have a look at this on this old bellows and just see how it sets on here, because this is really silly. Fits right in that one. See the old ring nowhere. It slides right in that one. I feel like this bellows is just, looks like it's a little bit small. And it fits in there, but definitely think there could have been a better option than this. Wow, this is embarrassing. Who designed this? I can put a lot of WD-40 on there. Maybe that'll do it. It seemed to me like it would just make it slip out, but maybe we'll wipe it off if it don't work, I guess. Feels centered. Maybe. Hey. I stand corrected. I just didn't know what I was doing. WD-40 made it slip right up on there, and that WD-40 will dry up. I felt it bottom out, and it's in there. So, hey, maybe it's not as dumb of a design as I thought it was. One thing I don't like is this shaft. Okay, you can see this. This is what puts my bearing in, and this pin is supposed to go through this shaft where it needs to put that bearing in, but there's no holes in the shaft, so I've seen some with holes and some without, so I really don't understand. They also give me this one though, so, but this one's supposed to be for the seal, not for the bearing. So I don't know, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. Right now I'm gonna finish. I gotta lay down here on the ground, and I've got this is where your water comes in from the lake. So your water comes in through your foot, right through there. There's a hose that goes on the back side of that goes up into your motor. That's where your prop shaft goes in, and it's where your exhaust comes out. On this boat, if you got these turned off, your most boats, your exhaust is gonna come out right here, and then it comes out through your prop, and then I've got two downward exhaust right back to your back to just go straight down. So that's if it's late at night or whatever, and you're trying to not be cool, you'll turn those off and come in quiet, won't nobody hardly hear you. But if you're trying to be cool, turn them on, wake everybody up, or be an asshole, whatever. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna pause the video again, and it's gonna take me a minute to get those two. I actually got to do the exhaust bellows on this side, the water hose on this side, and then I have to connect. I got to tighten that hose clamp on the shift cable. And once I do that, we'll start videoing again, and we'll pull that bearing out. I got a tool that fits on this to pull that bearing out. And we got to get that done. That bearing's in backwards. Not only is it in backwards, it's got issues because it got water in it all last summer. Let me pause. All right, guys. I was going to shoot some other video, but I ended up having someone stop by, so I wasn't able to shoot it. But I've got the ring in, which you saw that. And I've got the clamp tightened on the bellows for the shift cable. That was a pain because they changed that over to a 7mm, and it used to be 5/16, and I didn't have a 7mm ratchet wrench, so I had to do it with a wrench. So that took forever. Also, what I've discovered is that you got to take this shift rod out, which is just it's got one little hole in it, pops up through there, then you run this little screw through there, holds it in place. So now you can get your tool in there to pull that bellows back, and that tool, if you get it in there just right, I mean it's not easy. If you get it in there right, it's got a pin that holds it so that you can put the hose clamp on. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that one so that it'll make it easier to go on, and then I'm going to pull it out, and then hopefully put the hose clamp on. And once that's done, I'm done with the bellows. All I gotta do then is put the gaskets and outdrive stuff on. Well, I'll take that back. It's not all I gotta do. I gotta pull that bearing and that seal out and change that, but I'm not gonna do that today. It's already 6 o'clock, believe it or not. So I'm gonna try to get this last bellows on real quick, and then I'll leave the video running. So I know you can't really see much, but maybe this will go real good. Let's hope this goes real good. That one hose clamp was a nightmare back there. I didn't think I was ever gonna get that in there. It was bad last year with that 5/16. It was worse this year, so there you go. Can always get worse. That's the moral of the story. Relativity. Alright. The hose clamp is on there. Okay, that's good. This glue, it is gooey. I hate to even get it on my fingers, but I'm gonna have to. It's ain't hard to get it off. But that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get this in there. On this one. So prop that up somehow. Normally you can right here, but I want to stab myself an eyeball. That'll work. Be careful when you do stuff like this, man. It's, I'm not directly under it. If I was, I wouldn't have done it. Because there has been people who lose eyes like that. There's one guy years ago, lost both his eyes. Lost one eye working on a car, and something fell down, hit him in the eye, and made him legally blind in that eye. Unfortunately, years later, the same thing happened again. Some type of a crowbar or something fell down and hit him in the eye, and it made him blind, so he ended up being blind in both eyes. So, like I said, be careful if you do something like that. That's the only way to do it. Some of those stories you hear, you think it's hard to believe, you know, but it did happen. The odds are, you gotta be high on that one. Okay. Got the glue on there. And hopefully, we can get in here. Get this thing on here without any problems. Here's a little pin that's supposed to go through right here. Once you get it pulled back where you need it, that's probably going to be a learning curve. Let's have something go my way. Good. Like it's on here. There's that. Oh, you have to go. Come on now. Get in there. Wow. You almost did it. Hey, I don't know if that's got it. It feels like it's on there, but I'm gonna crawl in here and look. If it is, we can just tighten it up. close. Come on, sucker. A bit further. That's all I ask. It's almost all the way on there. The bottom side gotta go just a little bit. I want to. Try to loosen it. Man, just a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. If y'all are new to my channel, I'm glad you came by. I appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, you're probably not still here. Because it's probably a longer video, and then no music, no hype, no nothing. Unless you catch me singing, and then you probably really will sing on. I guess I sing all right. I don't have to sing. I ain't no professional, that's for sure. Man, if you could just go on another quarter of an inch, seriously, that's all we need. Go on there and stay there. Right there. Okay, where's my tree? Where's my tree? Don't need that, I don't think. Try it. It worked pretty good. I like it. All right, man, I'm in. This should have went faster than it did, but it didn't. So it is what it is. I'm going to be done for the day, I think. All right, get that all turned here. All right. Anyway, guys. I know the video is not great where you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually videoing this from my tablet, and it's just on a stand. And I don't get it too close to me because I don't want to break it. So basically what I got left is I can put this shaft back in real quick. I've got to do this bearing. It has got to be done. So that's next on my agenda. This only goes on one way. I mean, I guess technically it could go on two way. Nah, you can put the screw in. So yeah, it goes on one way, so it's not real complicated. A little flat head screw pin type. Made it a lot easier to get that bellows on there. Way easier, because those bellows when they're new, they're very stiff. So what I got to do tomorrow is I got to come out here, wherever that tool is. Here's this tool. It goes right on here, just like that. And you get this right here that goes on that and screws in. Then once, oh sorry, I got the camera turned. This tool right here, okay, that's what we're gonna pull the bearing out with. You got this tool right here. You get it in there and you get this part through the bearing, and then you shove this part in, which spreads that out inside the bearing like this. So I don't know if we can get it through here without it being mounted or something, but let's just see. So if we got this in there, this should go through the bearing like this. I probably better not do that. So I'm not gonna put it all the way through there because I'll have a hard time getting it out. So you're gonna pop that in there, and you're gonna pull it back until that hits the back side of the bearing. And then you're gonna shove this through, which is gonna lock that from collapsing. Then once you do that, then you'll turn this shaft here and just screw it and screw it and screw it until you pull that bearing out. And then in behind that bearing is a seal. We're gonna do that tomorrow. That's got to be done. It don't got to be done, but it's getting done. That bearing, the bearing that's in there took water all last year, and plus it's in there backwards. So I want to fix that, put it in right, and then hopefully not have to do this again for 5 years. I hope. So if I get the bearing and everything done tomorrow, which my plan is to do that, get that done, and then we'll put the outdrive back on tomorrow. And if that goes really well, then we'll pull the boat out, and I'll hook all the hoses up, and we'll hook some water up to it maybe, and crank it up. I haven't heard it run since last year. I love the way this thing sounds. I do got to order new solenoids for my, what they call captain's call, or silent choice. Silent choice is, silent choice is a switch basically with two 12-volt solenoids that opens a butterfly damper to let the exhaust go out on top of the water. So if you don't turn it on, the exhaust comes out down there. If you flip the switch, it comes out on top. So it's just to be cool. That's all it's for. It's not for performance or anything else. It's just to sound good is what I only think it's for. And I love the way this thing idles with the open header. Now it's not open header like what you would hear on a race car at a track. It's not that loud, but it's loud. But it's a good loud. It sounds good. But it's nice to be able to turn it off, because if you come in late at night or whatever, you don't want to be racking off the exhaust, you know, out there when you're the only one on the water. Anyway, this went well today. It didn't go as good as I had really planned on it to go. I'm gonna wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys coming by. You know, if you enjoyed the video, God bless you. I appreciate it if you did, and if you do, like and comment if you want to. If you know anything about these outdrives, I mean, I'm learning. I know a lot about a lot of things, and I've worked on a lot of things, and I've fabricated a lot of things, and I've rebuilt a lot of things, and I've torn things apart many times that I've never seen before, and put it back together, and normally don't have an issue, but every once in a while, problem presents itself. This thing has really whooped me. It whooped me last year. It's not whooping me this year. And I'd like to put a brand new outdrive on it at some point, but we got to get the boat beyond where it is, because I would like to do a wrap on the boat, and they want a lot of money, like $7,000 to do that, and I'm not prepared to. This boat's going to have to be really, really solid before I'd spend $7,000 on a wrap. But I would like to get it wrapped because I think that's the most cost-effective way to make it look back like new. Take the rub rail off around it, pull all the handrails off of it, pull everything off of it, pull the windows out and everything, and then have them wrap it, and then put everything back on. Do the whole entire boat, top and all, inside the driver's compartment, get everything done. I'd also like to get some C-Deck done. I actually messaged C-Deck about becoming a dealer, so I need to get back in touch with them. They did message me back. They did give me all the paperwork and everything, and I just feel like it would be a good thing to do, especially having a boat this big that needs to be done. It would be nice to have a display for people to see of what you can do, and it never hurts to make a little extra money, and I love to make old things work like new and not necessarily look like new, but look better. You know, it's hard to make something, for me, look like new because I don't have the knowledge. I'm not gonna say I don't have the skill set. I don't have the skills because I've never done that. You know, I'm not a painter. I'm not a polisher. You know, there's Drake's Detailing. If you ain't never seen him, he's on YouTube. Drake's Detailing. He's out in California. He's been out there, I think, now for about a year. Man, that dude right there can take a boat like this and it would look brand new when he got done with it. I mean, it literally would. It is amazing what he can do. So if you're interested in doing anything like that, go watch his videos. He's got a lot of good information on there. It is a learning curve. I've played around this one a little bit, but this is an '88 model boat, so it's really old. And it's not been polished probably in its whole life, probably not. So it needs a lot of love. I would rather just wrap it because when you polish it, a boat this old, you got to do it about once a year or twice a year anyway, at least once a year, and it's not very cheap. You're talking $1,500 or so, maybe even $2,000, depending on how good a job they do. And then it's still going to look like a polished out old boat. It's going to look new, but all the decals, all that stuff are looking bad. So I had a couple ideas. One idea was to do a Call of Duty wrap on it. That's a game I play with some of my friends actually on this tablet. And it's a game that I started playing years ago. Got me through some hard times in my life, where sometimes maybe you just don't need to just sit around and do nothing. You need to do something. You don't want to just watch TV. So that game gets you so involved mentally that it's actually pretty good for you, but too much of anything is bad. So that was one idea, was doing a Call of Duty wrap on this boat and then renaming it Punisher, because that's my screen name on Call of Duty. And the other idea was to take it like it is and just exaggerate how they did it back when it was brand new, except make it more modern. Like, for example, there's some pinstripes that go down the side of the boat, and at the back they turned into checker flags. So what I would do is let the pinstripes be on the wrap, but when it came back to the back of the boat, the whole back of the boat would be a checker flag, maybe even all the way to the inside. So it would look pretty normal, all the rest of it, but it would be grossly exaggerated at the back. I just think it would look cool, and it's an old boat. People just don't expect something like that. It would look brand new if they did that, but like I said, you're talking a lot of money, $7,000, $6,000, whatever. I've had quotes to $7,500, anywhere from $6,000 to $7,500. So, but there's also a company that called We Print Wraps, and I think I can wrap the side of the boat. I don't think that'd be a problem, but the top and all that's going to need an expert, and I don't think that I could do it. Those guys that wrap that stuff, man, they make it look simple, like it's nothing to it, and for them it's probably not, but for me, and one thing you gotta remember, nothing like that's ever going to be perfect, and if you're trying to strive for perfection in something like that, you're probably going to be mad at yourself. You got to accept some flaws, just like anything, just like life, just like us as humans. you know, flaws in things. They're just there. Nothing is perfect, you know. But sometimes it's tough to accept that when you're doing something. But anyway, I've also got that. I'm gonna do a video. I may not get it done tomorrow, but I got a video of a project that I'm working on. It's not gonna be done until next winter, but I'm gonna show y'all a quick video of what it is. It's gonna be a lot of fun. For me, it is. It may not be for everybody, but for me, it's gonna be a lot of fun because it's something that I really enjoy, and it's something I'm trying to do without spending a lot of money. And I'm doing it with a trailer that I already had. So I bought a trailer online a while back. I bought it real reasonable. Like, I don't even know. I can't remember what he wanted for it, but I got it for about half what he asked for it. Just because he had a bunch of junk on it they didn't want that I had to haul to the dump. So I lowballed him because I didn't really want the trailer. But it was just a good small trailer, and it would be handy. And I had a few uses for it, which I never used it for. Anyway, so I just called him and said, man, I said, would you take, and I hate him at half price. He said, if you're coming to get it today and you take everything on it, you can have it. So I did. I went and got it. I think he wanted like $600. I think I paid $300. Something crazy. I really don't remember. But I went and got that. I went and got that trailer, and it had brand new tires on it, and it was set up for. He was getting ready to make an overland trailer out of it, which is originally what I was going to do. And then someday may still do that, but right now that's not what it's going to be. So I pulled that stuff off, and right now it's just a flat trailer. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I'm tired. My eyes are burning, and I'm going to pick up my stuff. I'm going to go to the house and get something to eat. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll be back out here.